Copenhagen, summer 2018. The heat is still invasive and people are suffering under its tyranny. It is the worst scorcher in over a century. Crime is still up. Pride weekend is approaching in the distance, but people are worried if it'll be met by hate groups for the first time in decades. The police are trying to find a solution, but foreign groups have made it clear that they intend to sponsor counter-protests. The world seems to be growing more hateful. Meanwhile, in the dreaming, a field of grass and flowers is host to a party of satyrs and she. Merriment and laughter is the rule of the day. There isn't a cloud in the sky, or rather, there is. In fact, they're rolling in at a rapid pace. It begins to rain. Black droplets falling from the sky, light at first, but quickly growing to the size of small eggs. The party flees as the grass grows sickly and dies, and the flowers wither on their stalks. Meanwhile, having learned some uncomfortable truths, the motley of young Kithane are pressed for answers, and each one they find seems to open two new questions. Who did it? When? Why? The only thing that seems to be clear is the how, and cold iron is always horrible news. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Copenhagen Dreaming. I am joined by an incomplete group today, but hopefully at least one more will join us in short order. And until then, we'll just play with who we have. And we need to get a recap. So, Chris, as per usual.
Last time on Copenhagen Dreaming, our motley continued our investigation into the murder of Julian Lowendahl Esquire, supposedly by Thomas Winter, trying to confirm the strange, nonsensical circumstances surrounding the lead-up to the crime. In the end, we decided to go and visit one of the key witnesses and participants of the aftermath, the Puka Rattigan. Arriving at his home, he seemed very on edge, very afraid of something, and after taking him somewhere he considered safe through careful questioning and trying to penetrate through his compulsive lies, he revealed essentially that what had happened and what was currently happening was all to the design of the lady, the terrible black dragon that we've seen before, at least once in the campaign during one of the prequels. That she's basically has a power over sovereign, the art of being able to sort of manipulate the minds of others and controlling them to do things, and that this is something that we suspect at this point, based on what we've learned, is how Thomas Winter was compelled, essentially, to commit the murder. Obviously, this doesn't absolve him completely, but the point is, if we can prove that he acted outside, if his actions were not of his own influence, essentially, then that would to a point clear his name. Rattigan himself was only told this by the lady as a means to taunt him, because obviously he's a Puka, he's a compulsive liar. People aren't particularly inclined to believe him, especially considering that he's not the most sociable person. We got him after he had tried to, under the power of sovereign, apparently commit suicide by throwing himself to some lions in the zoo. We were able to get him to the Winter Court safely. He was being looked after by Troll Håkon. Giant slab of a man, by all accounts. And we took what we knew to the Duchess, and she explained, obviously, that we needed to go out and find concrete evidence of sovereign being used in this instance, because although we had, by our efforts, successfully prevented Thomas Winter's execution, he would still be punished unless we could find this concrete evidence. The other issue that we learned from Rattigan, actually, before I continue, is that the lady is still in league with the Shadow Court, and there is a long game being played where the lady is going to attempt to turn all of Copenhagen's trolls to Baron Steele's service as a means for him to reignite the old war that occurred many, 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 many years ago between the Sidhe, who had returned from the moon, and the trolls who had originally sort of fought and been nominally in charge of things in Copenhagen before that, and who were then basically kicked out of the position by the Sidhe once the Sidhe won the war. So this ties into some events that had happened in some rumors that we'd heard previously.
In fairness, they didn't return from the moon. They returned from the dreaming, but it was the moon landing that gave people such a burst of inspiration and imagination that it reopened the gates to Arcadia.
Yes, there's a big. I remember seeing a visual example of during the moon landing, and then there's like a big silver road appearing from the moon
Yes.
towards the Earth. Because it's weird, think about it. Because of course that means this game is set at a point. It's been 49 years since she returned. It's very shortly going to be the 50th anniversary.
Yes.
Quite something. But basically, yeah. So what we were tasked to do by the Duchess was to go out and find either, much to our much to her consternation, a spellflinger, a mage, essentially, who would perhaps, with their understanding of magic, know more about Sovereign, or at least something like Sovereign by their equivalents, that could then prove that that Sovereign was used in the crime. Or we find someone who has some kind of resistance to Sovereign's power and enlist their help. And from there, if we bring them to the Duchess, or if we get them in contact with the Duchess, we can then establish the use of Sovereign by using them as a test subject, and then that would provide the evidence we need. We decided to visit, first and foremost, Ingrid Marie Guldair, who has apparently survived an encounter with a werewolf, and not only survived it, but remembered the whole thing and has collected up a vast repository of knowledge on various supernatural creatures. So we went to go and see her, and after much dithering about, shall we, try and be oblique about it? Should we try and lead her in circles? Should we just be upfront with her? Eventually, we decided to just be upfront with her, because when we tried, asking, and she thought we were just, teenagers pulling a prank, then we're like, okay, we'll prove to you that we're actually who we say we are. She took us in, called up someone, and after some talking, it was established that actually, no, she's not just your average, everyday, ordinary, run-of-the-mill, ho-hum human. She is, in fact, kinfolk to the werewolves, which, in terms of the Fae, is very similar to the Kinane to the Kithane, I believe.
Indeed.
Obviously, for us who have played a song at Tara, this is kinfolk is a familiar term anyway. But yes, and even more surprisingly, she is, I believe you said she was the aunt of Xenia Dalgar, the recently arrived Ghetto Fenris from Dublin and veteran non-player character of A Song at Tara.
Indeed.
That was about as far as we got. But she did say she was going to, that between Xenia and Ingrid, they were going to try and put us in contact with someone who could be of help to us.
Correct.
But yeah, that is about as far as we got last time. So we're still, I believe, in
You're still
Ms.
at her
Goulday's
home.
house.
Yes.
Yes.
You're still at her home. Yep. And yes, they did say that they would try to put you in contact with someone who could help. But there you are. So what do you do?
Well, I believe we were having a conversation last time.
Yes. Yes, you
Do
were.
you remember what about?
I think Sunny was telling Xenia that she had saved us.
That's true. Sunny was actually in the process of saying thank you. And she looks quite surprised that you were there. She says that was an extremely dangerous place to be. Why on earth would you have been there in the first place? Or is that something I'm not supposed to know about?
It was politics of, well, we were not quite. The grown-ups at that point,
Oh,
but we got involved as a sort of dare, I suppose, that the not so nice Fae decided that we should spend the night or bad stuff would happen.
all right. I think in Ireland they call those the Nightmare Court.
Ours called themselves the Shadow Court. You know,
Yeah.
just for maximum dramatic effect.
I was about to say for top cheese value, but there you go.
If only they were cheesy cartoon villains.
Yeah, that's always the problem, isn't it? They're never quite as cheesy in real life as they were in comic books and childhood stories. Same thing for us, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm afraid we have not heard the best of you. I believe you have something against us normally.
Define normally, please, she says.
Well, from what I've heard here, at least.
So basically, you mean here in Denmark, the problem has been that yeah. All right. Yes.
Well, we were told if we see a werewolf, run,
Yeah.
because they will rip you to pieces.
Yeah, I'm aware of that problem, for lack of a better word, and I'm not happy about it. I come to Copenhagen directly from Dublin. I've lived there for several years, and as opposed to Copenhagen, in Dublin, the werewolves and the Fae have extremely good relations. In fact, we would all have died if it hadn't been for our ability to help each other very recently. So let's just say I am predisposed to be favorable towards you.
Does sound quite fascinating.
It's a very long story.
It would be good if we could have those conditions here.
Wouldn't it just? I would like to see that happen as well, but obviously I'm not the person in charge here. Yet.
As far as I understood, no one really knows who's in charge at the moment.
At the moment, it's an absolute moron called Frank who's in charge, and he...
Does he look like a pug?
No, he doesn't.
Aww. No men in black here.
No, he looks like a very, very, very nasty specimen of my kind. Basically, she says he's a raving racist, he's a misogynist, he's all the worst elements of humanity rolled into one and given all the bad temper of a werewolf. So, yeah, I can't say enough bad things about the asshole. Unfortunately, he is currently in charge. But, as I said, currently.
I'm still shocked when I realize that someone like that can be in charge in this day and age.
He's bigger and he's stronger than anyone else in Copenhagen, myself included, and I'm strong. I'm powerful for my kind.
I'm very sorry, Joan, but you keep cutting out, so you only hear half your sentences.
Is that the case for everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Is it better?
Emil, run.
Is it better now?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
My bad.
No problem.
No, she says he is bigger and stronger than everyone else, and you said that you were surprised that someone like that could be in charge in this day and age. Am I correct?
Yes.
Good. And she says, well, he can because he is bigger and stronger, and because our society is in many ways built on strength, because we're warriors, and that makes him, if you'll pardon the pun, the top dog.
So yours is built on strength, ours is built on tradition.
I suppose that's a good way of putting it, yes.
Yeah, we can't really criticize when we still have nobility in charge.
Sonny rolls his eyes.
Well, it sounds to me, she says, like you guys are rebels at heart. For the record, I've made friends with the Queen of the She in Ireland. She's a very good ruler. Well, she was. Unfortunately, she died defending my kind. So...
And she was a good ruler.
Yeah, she was.
Not afraid to stand in the front, too.
Oh, no. Oh, no, she led from the front.
I suppose I'm not so much a rebel at heart as I'm a fan of democracy.
Well, for your kind, that would make you a rebel.
I suppose.
Yes. It's the truth of it, isn't it? But, yeah, so the Queen in Ireland, did she leave an heir?
She did. There's a young king now on the throne, or Ari as they call him, which is a bit weird because that's also the title for one of the tribes of my kind, what they called their leader, and that's also in Ireland. So you have two high kings in a very small area ruling two different kinds of kingdoms. It's really weird, and it's a long story, as I said. Anyway, you guys needed my help or our help with something specific, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you explain to me in a little more detail what that is, or am I asking something again that I shouldn't know about?
We've already explained to your aunt, so I suppose there's no reason we couldn't explain to you as well. One of us stands accused of murder with cold iron.
Ooh.
Problem is, the troll in question swears he didn't do it.
And it's a troll, yeah, that's a serious thing.
We have reason to believe that he was compelled by way of magic.
Right. See, now we're in areas where I don't know much about your kind because I have very little experience with your abilities, to be perfectly honest with you, but I'm assuming that you mean some kind of mind control?
Some kind of it.
Yeah.
It's called sovereign.
Okay.
It's no matter who you are, if you're not strong-willed enough, and how strong-willed you have to be depends on the person doing it to you.
Right.
They can force you to do things you wouldn't normally do.
And this troll, is he not strong-willed?
He is, but the problem is the one who allegedly has done it is a dragon.
Wow, you guys don't do things small, eh?
No.
Biggest one here, actually.
That's serious.
Biggest
and the nastiest.
Yes, and the nastiest. But yes, and she... I think we can trust you. We have reason to believe that this dragon has formed an alliance with the Shadow Court, and this is all part of a scheme to turn more of the commoners, turn more of those who aren't she and those who aren't empowered by the she against the courts that we have, the normal courts, and turn them towards the Shadow Court's influence, so that they can start the old war again.
Ugh. No, I have no interest in seeing that happen, obviously, so how can I help?
We need to find either someone versed in different forms of magic who might be able to identify this power, this sovereign.
Right.
Or we find someone who is, through means other than sheer willpower, maybe through sheer willpower, able to resist the power of sovereign, because then we can test such a power on them in such a way that we could then prove that it was used.
Well, I can't do the former. That's not exactly something that werewolves are known to be good at. You know, the whole divining what kind of magic has been used, for lack of a better word. At least it's not something I'm good at. But you're gonna find it very, 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 very hard to make me do something that I don't want to do. I'd venture so far as to say you're going to find it impossible. Many have tried, none have succeeded.
Yes, Jasmine looks at first at Xenia, then at Ingrid, and then at the others, and then back to Ingrid again, and just says, "We're thinking of of your niece coming to our court and being tested or something."
And being what, sorry?
Being checked and tested, or whatever it is they're planning to do. Is that what I'm understanding?
Ingrid looks, basically shrugs and says, "Well, my niece is a grown woman. She's perfectly capable of making that decision if she's willing to." And Xenia just shrugs and goes, "I see no reason why I shouldn't help the Fae. You're kind of done more for me than I can really describe. I have every reason to help you, so I will."
Yes.
But given the conditions of the current climate in Copenhagen, maybe it's not a good idea if you actually bring me to where you guys hang out, so to say.
No.
Maybe it would be better if this thing was tested on me somewhere else by someone who knows how to do it.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm sure the Duchess would be so happy if we brought someone in.
No.
Mercs.
Well, we should inform her that we found someone. Thank you so much for volunteering. The zoo is usually a neutral place.
Yeah, the zoo would be fine.
Also, where we met our first werewolf.
Yeah, I can go there if you want. Tomorrow afternoon, is that good with everyone?
Well, we'll have to check with the Duchess, but...
Well, she takes out a pen and writes down on a small piece of paper and gives it to you and says, "Well, my phone number. Call me."
Yeah, thank you.
I think Jasmine will make note of it as well, just in case.
Yeah, Jonas adds it to his phone as well.
Of course. So yeah.
Oopsie.
No problem. Is there anything else I can do to help you out?
Well, is there anything we can do to help you? I mean, you are helping us after all.
Let me get back to you on that, because there might be. But I don't want to put you in any kind of undue danger or anything of the sort. I don't want you to be put at risk because of, well, you'll pardon the pun, because of the stupidity of most of the werewolves in Copenhagen.
No, it's okay. I'm good at putting myself in danger of my own stupidity.
He really is.
That's all right. He reminds me of a few people I know back in Ireland.
I hear that a lot. Not in Ireland.
There must be some very helpful characters for them to be that to this.
Oh, we had a whole set, as we call it, of very colorful characters.
Hat?
Well, when I belonged to that sept, yes. I don't anymore because I moved back here to Denmark, so they are still there.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not a part of it, so.
Why did you leave?
Because, quite frankly, because I heard of the stupidity that's going on here with the fight. I mean, what kind of moronic, imbecilic asshat decides that it's a good idea to have a war where men are pitted against women? What kind of utter fucknuttery is that?
Sounds like something Trump would come up with.
Yeah. Well, if it's for the sake of establishing good relations between the werewolves and the Fae, I'm certainly happy to help.
I would definitely be up for doing that, but I need to get rid of the moron in charge first, and then I need to get rid of the other moron who happens to be a woman who's just as stupid.
You're kind of
Cutting out.
popping out again.
I'm right in front of the microphone. This is really...
Try turning your noise gating down.
Okay, let me see. How do I do that?
I'll come over.
Yes, please.
Okay. Momentary, they call it.
We need
Voice and video.
You need an intermission, don't you, with
yeah, we do.
music or something. But the most one.
Like an elevator music.
Dum da dum da dum da 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 dum da da.
There you are.
Okay,
You're excellent.
let's...
He's been here a while now.
Yep. Let's try this and see if this helps. Because I'm literally right in front of the microphone, so hopefully this helps and you can hear what I'm saying now.
I think the issue is that you've turned the noise gating up quite high, because otherwise I might echo.
Oh, right. That's possible. Well, in any case, she says I need to get rid first of the first idiot, who happens to be Frank, and then I need to get rid of the other idiot, who just happens to be a woman, who's just as stupid. I mean, it takes two sides to make a war like this be this long and this moronic. So I would I might actually have need of some help at some point, and I'll let you know if that happens, okay?
Sure.
Thank you. You can never have too many allies.
You should be warned that compared to you, we're probably not worth much in a fight.
No, but there are other things that you can probably do other than fighting. For one thing, I happen to know that you have access to something not... We have our own dream world, which we call the Umbra, which basically means the shadow. So it's the shadow world. It's a kind of a world which is placed right next to ours and is a copy of it. I think that sounds familiar to you guys with the dreaming, doesn't it?
A little.
All right. So, she says, I will let you know if that happens. I'm not saying that it will, but if something comes up, I'll let you know. And then you have my phone number, so when you have arranged everything, you just let me know, okay?
All right.
Thanks again,
Oh,
Atan.
you're welcome. We're not all idiots.
Yeah, hopefully. I do hope we haven't brought any trouble upon you, he says and looks at the other one, by coming here.
No, not at all. Not at all. You cannot, I think, bring much trouble upon me that I haven't already brought upon myself.
I'm guessing they're not happy that you're not with them.
Exactly.
Ah.
Both sides in this fight wants me to stop trying to end the war, and the guys want me to just take sides with the women so they can beat me up. They want to beat me up anyway, and a couple of them have tried and failed spectacularly. The point here is, she says, as I said before, I'm powerful for my kind. I'm strong for a werewolf. And that's not something that I need to brag about. It's simply the way it is. And right now there's probably only one werewolf in Copenhagen that is, that could take me in a physical fight, and that's Frank. So I need to do something about that. I need to even the playing field.
I'm sure that we will be happy to help in whatever capacity we can when we need us to, find some edge.
Yes. And I will definitely let you know, as I said. So, I'll be seeing you guys?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you prefer I call you or send you a text when we know?
Either will do. Either is fine.
Right. We'll go ask the Duchess if. At this point, what time is it?
It's getting kind of late. It's about 9:30 in the evening.
If she's still up, at least. Or if she's still receiving, is probably the right term.
I mean, is that in character you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine says, well, strictly speaking, we do need sleep as well. I don't want to work tomorrow as a zombie. I think we can afford one night's rest.
We have stayed the execution at least, so yeah, probably.
Yes, and let's face it, even if there are those who might, work against us while the night goes through, there's not much we can do about that. Better to get some sleep than spend all our time fretting and going to and fro when we can't speak to people.
We could have a sleepover.
Yeah.
He says, looking at Sunny, because I imagine Sunny has the most space.
Sure.
I mean, if your dad's okay with it.
He's not home.
Want to have a sleepover?
Sure.
What about you, Charles?
Yeah, why not?
Hope you aren't squeamish. I have other pets.
Let's start making those calls once we've I think we can worry about that once we're back outside and we've left this lovely lady to her business for the evening. Says indicating
sorry.
Ingrid. And,
Of course,
yeah.
She says. And I was happy to be able to help.
I don't think it's every day Senja is being called a lovely lady.
No.
Yeah. The same to Ingrid actually. So the point is that they both get a.
Yeah.
We both thank them for their time and for their help, and
Of course.
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see them again sometime in the future.
And thanks for the accidental saving again.
Yeah, she basically she says, don't worry about that, but in the future, do yourselves a favor and don't go playing with Fomori. They're nasty pieces of work.
We really didn't have a choice.
Yeah, well, true.
We'll be sure to pass on your caution to the members of the Shadow Court that insisted that it happened. So
yeah,
let them know that there's a werewolf who'd like a word with them.
Yeah, they probably won't like that very much. On the other hand, some of them carry silver weapons, which I might like even less. We'll see. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
She gets up and heads off.
And we leave politely as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
let's go and have a sleep.
Yes. Now we stop annoying the old lady.
Don't think we were that annoying.
Not at all. But yeah,
she thought it was going to be.
Okay. Jasmine is going to make a call to her parents to let them know that. Yes, sorry. I didn't get back home earlier. I haven't called you before, but I'm having a sleepover with Sunny. You know Sunny. And I'll be out and about over the weekend with them, and I'll make sure to keep in contact with them just to let them know I'm okay while I'm out at some point.
As long as you remember to do your homework.
Of course, but when haven't I?
No, that's true, but there you go.
Okay. Again, that's
standard thing they have to say. They are your parents.
It's a parent thing.
Yes. Yeah. It's a teenage thing to either be asked to be good with their homework or say they're being good with their homework and then just, party. So, okay.
Yeah, and Jonas, of course, texts his mom as well.
Of course.
Charles makes do with the text as well.
Yeah. Nobody has any trouble getting, parental permission to do this. I mean, at the age you guys are at, that's hardly an issue.
Yeah. Good. So how far is it from where we are to Sunny's place?
That depends on where we are.
You are in... where the hell was it? Okay, I'm gonna just make a call here and say that you're in Valby, which means that you are, within fairly easy reach of the of city center.
Sounds about
Yeah.
right, yeah.
And he lives in Gentofte.
Yeah. So getting from Valby to Gentofte, it does take a little while. You have to go via Nørreport, the central station, for the S trains, and then shift, there. But it'll take you about 35-40 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So, Sunny, do you have any snacks?
Not on me. There are some at home.
That's what I meant. I mean, if we're gonna have a sleepover, we might as well make something of it, right?
Sure.
I think Jonas finds, one of those always open stores to buy some more snacks.
Yeah, some late night 7-Eleven stuff or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, no problem. You buy some snacks, and you guys get set up, and you get to Sunny's place with no difficulty at all. And what then?
So, should we watch a movie or something?
Yeah? What sort of movie do you have in mind?
What about a scary one?
I mean...
You might say that, but most of the scary movies aren't actually scary.
It's true, it's mostly jump scares.
If we want a scary movie, look out the window and see if you can spot the lady.
That's a little too real.
Everything else pales a little in comparison when you've seen her.
I mean, we could go over everything that happened today, but as Jasmine said, we need a break as well.
Yeah.
Then how about silly movies?
Sure. What do you have?
He turns on the TV. The HBO, Netflix. No, regular stuff?
Yeah, of course.
I've just had a thought out of character. Now, I personally don't like the movies very much, as you know, when you tried to show them to me. But I just had this weird idea that Jasmine is actually quite a fan of those really weird adult animated films. The ones with really crude humor in them. Like, was it seething, things like that? Yeah, those ones.
We could totally put something like that on.
Yes.
So crude adult Danish animation, and not an adult in as a porn way, but
as
yes,
it's targeted towards adults.
Yes.
It's targeted towards adults, and the humor where literally nothing is off the table in terms of what you're going to make a joke about. So
it's very Danish to do it that way. Yes.
So you sit down with crisps and popcorn and silly movies.
Yes. To wind down.
Right.
A couple of ferrets roaming around making havoc. Sir probably trying to stop them.
I think one of the ferrets, let's say it's Luke, decides that the inside of Charles's t-shirt is now his cave.
Oh God, okay.
Which panics Charles.
Oh dear.
So you have a panicky ferret and a panicky Charles.
Sonny, please remove this.
Get out of there, Luke!
Luke drops out the bottom and lands on the couch, looking a little confused.
It's okay, Luke. He picks Luke up. Did he scare you?
The ferret immediately scampers across the couch and hides under one of the pillows because, ooh, scary.
Yep.
Charles fetches an electric catalysator from his bag. Just holds it.
It means something for comfort.
Mm-hmm.
That plus it can contain an electric charge that can quickly and not harmfully discharge.
Oh.
What's
Things
that?
go.
Did you? Bzzzt. Oh, that's a good point. You could. That's a good point, actually. Reaching into her backpack, Jasmine's like, Ganesha, how do you feel about playing with the two ferrets?
He's quite happy to play with the ferrets. You know, they can't scratch him or bite him or anything of the sort.
Exactly.
I imagine one of them promptly taking him and trying to run away with him.
Yeah, because
The other one following.
The point, of course, is that to the ferrets, he's just a small bronze statue.
Yep, so they try to run away with him.
Yes.
They steal everything.
He's quite heavy for his size, so they have to try to drag him off, which does
But they won't stop trying.
No, they won't stop trying, and it does look quite funny. You have these two ferrets in unison trying to drag this little bronze thing away and being very enthusiastic about it. They're spending a lot of energy on this, so they're going to wear themselves out.
I think
So
Jonas.
it's not his tail that's being tucked down at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Sir, I think Jonas will call him to snuggle with the dog if he wants to.
Ooh, the dog is quite happy with that. If it involves any kind of nuzzles and tummy scratches, he's very, very happy.
Yes.
So the doggo is now on the couch with the rest of you.
Yeah, he's allowed there. His dad isn't home.
Exactly. Also, the doggo doesn't really care about the movie because there are tummy scratches to be had.
Lots of them.
So, you guys are sitting there watching this movie, and
Yes.
and as time passes, you know, it's been a long day. People are probably getting tired. The film is done. You might, I don't know if you want to watch a second one, but eventually it does kind of get to the point where everyone is tired.
Yep. Maybe we should go to bed.
It's a good
Yeah,
idea.
I'll go get some mattresses.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, honey.
And that actually made me yawn.
Lovely. Okay.
Sunny go gets a few extra mattresses and then splays them out on the floor.
Yes.
So we're gonna
Find some duvets and pillows.
Yes.
help with that. Jasmine will help with that, get the bachelors all set up, and then she will go and retrieve a somewhat slobbery Ganesha from wherever he's been.
Yeah, he probably needs a quick wash under the in the sink just to get the ferret slobber off him, because you know they have been very enthusiastic about pulling him away.
Yes.
He probably got stuck halfway under a shelving unit or something.
Something along those lines.
Behind the couch. Something like that.
He thinks he's had a good time though. He thinks it's hilarious. But
Diligent little shits.
little by little, as you guys get set up and get ready to sleep and so on, you all feel, you know, as I said, it's by this point it's probably, I would imagine, 1 a.m, maybe 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably.
thereabouts. And so people go to bed.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Jonas makes sure to set an alarm for 9 or something.
Yep.
Yes, I can just hear, I can just feel the apprehension. We're going to wake up and something's going to happen. Or something will happen.
Or something's happening in our dreams.
Exactly.
Oh dear God, I hadn't considered that.
It's, after all, it is Changeling the Dreaming.
We are dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That sounds very philosophical.
So you wake up again once you've all fallen asleep. You do in fact wake up, and your mattresses and duvets and so on are all They're all located in a great big field in the middle of nowhere. And it looks like somebody has burnt it off. It looks scorched.
What the?
Where are we?
Is this the dreaming?
Well, you would have visited the dreaming briefly, at least a few times during your youth. You would have had to, basically. But this does feel like it. This does feel like the dreaming. However, normally to get to the dreaming, you have to pass through what's called a trod.
Yeah.
It takes very powerful magic to be able to pull you into the dreaming without a trod being present.
Charles checks his GPS on his phone just for good matches.
It's all over the place.
Is everyone awake? Sunny, Jasmine, Charles?
I don't think we are.
Yes.
Well, you're present at least.
Yep.
All right. This place looks uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. It looks downright sickly. This is not a good place.
We should probably keep an eye to the sky.
And everywhere else besides.
Are there any landmarks, woods, or anything?
Yes. There are woods nearby in the direction of the moon. It's still nighttime when you wake up, and if you look in the opposite direction, you can see what looks like a farmyard.
Okay.
It's quite idyllic, it should be said. It's, the wattle and daub buildings, old fashioned, with wood and brick mixed in on the walls.
Well,
Bindingsweg.
Yeah. Maybe there's somebody over there who knows where we are?
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
Charles says points.
Yes. Maybe. That is a choice. Do we go towards civilization or towards nature?
Well,
Civilization.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
yeah, they might have. If there's someone there, they might know what's going on.
All right, we should stick together and move quickly.
Well, you move down there, and it pretty quickly becomes clear there's no light down there at all. The place looks almost deserted from a distance.
From a distance? Okay, we're not up close then.
No.
It's looking good.
They might have things there we can use to at least defend ourselves.
Maybe. It's a good thing I've been trying to keep up with my archery classes if we do find something like that there.
Yeah, I could really use a bow right now.
Okay, so do we all get closer?
Yeah, I think we move closer.
If you move closer, then you certainly do. When you get there, you can you see it's definitely it's not that it's deserted, it's that people have been fighting there. And you can tell that because there are still people lying around.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Are there any not so nice looking people, as in enemy looking people?
There is a single red cap lying there. It's not one you know, but it's difficult to. Well, it's Let me rephrase that. It's not difficult to recognize a red cap. They have a very distinct look to them. Lots and lots and lots of teeth, a very large mouth, and blood red hair.
They basically have a red cap.
Yes.
Hmm.
Well, of course, the original Scottish version of red caps were so called because they would scalp their enemies and wear the scalps on top of their own heads, and the blood would then drip down over their faces, and hence the red cap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, such lovely creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Yes, the fine tradition of scalping.
Yes.
So does he look like he was? I suppose it's quite hard to tell, but
He was probably killed by the sword that is still stuck through him from the arm that is lying in front of him, the arm without the rest of the person attached to it.
Yeesh.
okay. Practically speaking, is the sword? Can we approach it without it hurting us?
It's not cold iron, if that's what you mean. Cold iron cannot exist in the dreaming.
Okay, fair enough. Well, potentially we have a weapon if someone's prepared to.
I
take it
don't
out.
know how to use that.
Jonas approaches.
Yeah. They, for obvious reasons, don't move or say anything. Neither the arm nor the person who's been run through.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Is Jonas hesitant to try and take the sword out of the red cap?
Yes.
After a while, then Jasmine will just roll her eyes, walk up to the man, or well, to the well, not the man, but walk up to the creature, and then just delicately remove it. She's had some practice with handling cutlery and handling weapons, so she's more capable of just
She pulls out the sword with no difficulty at all. It hasn't been... you have no idea, obviously, how long it's been stuck in this creature or how long the creature has been there for. Things don't necessarily decompose in the same way and at the same rate in the dreaming as they would in the real world. So he could have been there for a very long time, but the sword isn't rusted, at least. It's in good condition.
What does it have? Any particularly distinguishing marks on it?
No, it's just a good, solid broadsword.
Fine. Jasmine will clean off the blood as best she can, and just have it flat over her shoulder so she can carry it.
Yes.
We should look around for more weapons.
Yes.
Maybe now that we've got a sword, maybe we should just look inside the house, see what's so damn important finding about.
Yeah. But let's keep an eye out for weapons, just so we can arm ourselves.
Yeah.
Charlie checks the inside. Do I still have my my messenger bag with me, John?
Yes, you do.
Lovely. I check the inside. Do I still have one of the light bulbs from the student home?
Yes.
Ooh.
Lovely.
So you in fact have light. You have a light source.
No, I filled with them at the student home and made them into flashbangs.
That's true. You made them into little flashbang grenades. That's correct.
Yes, and I agreed with myself that I only have one left after an incident at the workshop.
Yep. Okay. I like that. Yes, you have the one left.
Yeah, don't drop them. That's a bad idea.
Yep. So you open the door to the house, and the first room that you enter into is it's a kitchen, and it's empty. There's nobody there, but quite importantly, the hearth is not lit. So the coals aren't smoldering, or there are no embers in the fireplace or anything of the sort. It's been like this at least for a little while.
Let's have a look around.
Yep, you do. And you find in the next room, as you open the door, the next room is... it's a small... it looks like a living room sort of thing. And there's only one other door, and that leads out on the other side. That door has been broken down, and there's a dead person lying in front of it. The person lying in front of it is a troll. Again, it's not one that you know.
Odd.
It's female. It's a woman.
Where are we if we can't recognize any of...
Well, the dreaming, I suppose.
Yes, I'm...
Or maybe it's the troll we don't know.
Anyone remember how to get out of here?
Nope.
We taught anything like that?
Yeah, you need to find a trod to leave.
I mean, normally we get in by using a trod. We need to find one to get out as well.
Right. Jonas closes his eyes and tries his very best to sense a trod. I don't know if that's anything he's ever done before, but...
It's not possible to do that. You need to find one physically.
Doesn't mean he doesn't try.
Charlie starts looking around in the house to see if there are any records maybe scattered around.
Right. What you find in the room beyond where the woman is lying, and it should be said that she is also she's also armed with a it's not a weapon, it's a tool that she's been holding a large hammer in her hands. It's not a war hammer or anything of the sort. It's the kind of tool that you would use to beat us what's it called, a fence post into the ground, for example. So a lump hammer.
It's just like a big mallet, basically.
Yeah, exactly, like a mallet. And she's still holding that in death. And in the next room, you see another creature on the ground in armor, and that one is definitely a she.
Oh.
Guys?
Yeah?
I think I found another one. Looks like a she.
Oh. What's going on here? Jonas goes to check the she.
Yep, that is absolutely there is no question that it's a she, and he's wearing the colors of House Dougal. So you're able to recognize that, at least. You realize that he's probably been dead for quite a long time. You realize that because he's face down, so in order for you to investigate him at all, you have to kind of turn him over. And there's a layer of dust on him.
He's been dead for a while.
He hasn't decomposed. Other than the fact that he's dusty, he could have died a couple of hours ago from the looks of things. And that's probably the moment when you realize that he's not the only corpse in the room.
Ooh.
There are 3 children in here as well, and they're all dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no.
Oh. God.
Maybe we shouldn't be here.
Place is long dead. We should get out of here.
As you say that, there is a moment of heat, not terrible heat or anything, but it's like somebody has lit the fire in the room, in the fireplace. Basically, it's comfortable, and you can hear voices, children laughing, a man and a woman who are talking. Clearly they're a married couple, and you can hear their children playing. And then suddenly you hear a loud scream from outside. It sounds like a man screaming outside. And you hear the sound of wood being shattered. And then it's gone.
What?
Oh,
What are we hearing? Is that these people?
it might be an echo of some sort. Let's. Should we get out of here?
Yeah, let's.
I think
So-
we move to go outside.
Okay, so you leave the farmhouse behind and go outside. And as you do so, please roll, all of you, please roll a perception plus alertness. And the difficulty is, let me see. Okay, let's say that the difficulty is 7.
Perception alertness.
That is an actual botch from Jasmine. It's a 1 botch, so.
How's that going to translate into not seeing something?
Oh, you will figure it out. And Charlie, that's no successes because the 1 and the
God.
10.
Damn it. That's no successes from
means
Sunny.
Jonas has 1 success, and that's the only one of you who manages to see anything.
The rest of us are too shaken by what we've...
Yes, I think that's really the case. I think what happens to Jasmine when you get outside, the sights that you saw inside the dead people and so on finally catch up with you, and you need to empty your stomach.
Yes.
But Jonas, you realize that something you hadn't noticed when you walked inside the farmhouse. There are footprints out here in the farm, or in the courtyard, including an absolutely gigantic one from something that looks like a lizard.
Guys,
Yeah.
I really don't want to be here because there's a giant lizard footprint over there. And I don't think it's a lizard.
Oh, hell.
Okay, I admit now, I want to take it back. Let's go to the woods.
Let's go frolic in nature, shall we?
Yes. We need to get out of here. We need to find that all the times for me to forget our
Trod.
character. Thank you. We need to find a Trod somewhere, anywhere. It's not
Yes.
here.
Oh, if only you could sense the damn things.
Or imprint them on a map.
Ah,
Shall we go for the woods?
Yeah, we might be able to hide there. Unless she lights the whole thing in place, of course.
Just supposed to be, I don't know, supposed to be comforting. Look on the bright side, not this.
Have you
Yeah.
ever known me to be an optimist?
You crack a good joke every now and then.
Let's just...
All right, fine. Let's just go.
As you stand there talking, you again have this feeling of warmth. This time it's more like sunlight falling on you. So again, it's not uncomfortable in any way. It's kind of pleasant. And you hear this sound of something absolutely massive landing. You can hear wing beats, and then you can hear something landing, and it's from the direction that the massive footprint is. And you hear a voice roaring, and you could swear you've heard that voice before, but you cannot place it for a fact. You're just certain that it's a voice that you've heard before. It said, "You were given the chance to submit. This is the price you pay for failing to do so." And then it's gone.
Is these sounds, this sort of echo of the past, is this something that we'd have an idea what it is?
No, but it isn't unusual for the dreaming to carry such things, that, you know, the imprints and memories and dreams, obviously. You might, right now, be standing in the middle of someone's dream.
Oh, okay.
Right. Into the woods, into the woods.
So you leave the farmyard behind and move back up towards the woods.
Yes.
Yes. And...
Excuse me, sorry.
No problem, no problem. Dogs happen. And you head up towards the woods, and you get in there, and you realize that this place is more than it seems as well. For one thing, you can tell that there is a trod here somewhere. The feeling when you're near one is pretty clear, but you have to be close to one to be able to sense it. But you can't. You're not quite sure where in these woods it is. It's not a big patch of trees, so you're probably going to be able to find it in pretty short order. But what you also find here is a campsite.
An empty campsite?
Yes. Well, empty insofar as there are no people here, but you do see, for example, you see a longbow and a quiver of arrows slung over a what's it called? Over a wooden log.
Yeah, Jonas apologizes softly. Sorry to whoever this belongs to, but... And then he takes it.
Okay, you try to string it. It's not strung, obviously, when you find it. That would be bad for the bow.
Yeah, but having a strong bow right now seems like a good idea, just in case.
Yep, so you string it.
Yes.
Yeah, what's your strength?
3.
Yep, you can do it. It takes a little work. This is clearly a powerful bow.
Yeah.
Your best guess is that this is probably around 70 pounds. It takes a lot to pull it.
It's probably more than I'm used to then.
Almost double.
Yikes. Okay. It's better than nothing.
A 70-pound bow will quite handily put down an adult human being. It'll quite handily go through an adult human being.
Well, that's comforting. It's perfect exercise for Jonas to build those muscles even more.
If only it was an adult human being I was afraid of currently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree that, yes, we should actually take our first break. We've run a little over. That's fine. We'll just... you know what? Let's make this a two-parter this time. And because we started a little bit late. And if we just continue for another 10 minutes or so, then we can make it, instead of a three-parter, we can make it a two-parter today.
Okay. We'll make sure to mention that again at the start of the second part, just in case people...
Of course.
Just in case you listening audience aren't paying attention.
I'm sure they are. If they're listening this far into a recording, it's because they're paying attention.
Fair enough.
So, yes. So you can see there's also there are sleeping blankets here. There's a tent. It's quite a large one, actually.
Is it empty?
So
people.
So you go into it, you check it.
Yes.
Yes, there are no people in there. There is, however, a table with some paperwork on it.
I attempt to read the paperwork.
It's a map of the farm that you just came from. It's pretty clear that it's the farm you just came from.
Huh. Look at this, guys.
As we study the map, does it have any specific style to it?
It's drawn by hand, but it's pretty well done. It's not an architect's drawing or anything of the sort, but it has all the rooms that you saw, plus a few that you didn't enter into. It also says expected opposition, two adult trolls, possibly servants, 2 or 3 children.
So it is the basis for a battle plan against whoever lived on that farm.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
It was based here, planned to attack the farm, but
Charlie's feeling kind of nauseous and leaves the tent.
Yeah, out of character. I certainly wouldn't be feeling so bad about nicking that bow now.
Yeah, I was thinking about whether Jonas would say it or not. I think his jaw muscles just tighten.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can't find that trot.
By the way, Jonas, could you give me another perception plus alertness roll? It's just a difficulty 6 this time.
Sure.
Only Jonas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doopy.
Oh, look at that. That's fine. That's a success. You didn't really notice when you just picked up the bow and strung it because, wow, this is a nice piece of work and it's kind of gorgeous and I really need to string it because I don't want to be unarmed right now. But you realize that most bows have a bowmaker's sigil somewhere on it. There's a sigil on it, or a little mark somewhere. And in this case, that little sigil is placed up against, or right beneath, rather, House Dougal's lion.
Okay, so it's quite probably a House Dougal weapon.
Yes, it is.
This is also of House Dougal.
So the she from the farmhouse left this bow, maybe?
It's possible.
But it is left in the camp that attacked the farmhouse.
What do I know of House Dougal?
That they are a very honor-bound house, that they are very... they're powerful warriors. They are... it's not a lion for House Dougal, sorry. It's... I believe it's... I'll find out during the break. I got 2 houses mixed up.
It's the one with the arm with the hammer.
Yes, it's the one with the arm with the hammer, exactly. But they are they're a Sealy house.
That's odd. They're normally not known for doing stuff like this. But then again, if giant lizard ladies are involved, then what people are known for doing is not necessarily true anymore.
Or it could be during a war where they wanted their power back.
You think this could be that long ago?
I don't know. But it was trolls against she, wasn't it?
Assuming the she were the ones attacking, then yeah.
Or the other one around.
Remember that House out of character. When you said House Dougal are honor-bound
Yes.
sorts, is that honor in the virtuous sense or in the sense of avenging petty slights sense?
Both.
Right.
Aren't
Okay.
they also Acadian She?
Yes, they are.
Well, we heard what the Echo said back in the village. They were told to submit. It makes sense that the She might have demanded their submission in Farmstead, but then the Farmsteaders refused, and then what part would... Oh dear.
What?
Oh dear. Dragon, the lady has a feud with the Duke,
Yeah.
and we know that, and now we have an idea of an echo of a dragon working with She, Seely, some are called She. What if the lady was working with them, and then an agreement was made that then maybe the Duke didn't keep to, and then that might have led to the grudge?
I mean, that's a possibility, but are we sure it's the lady we heard back there?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Sounded
It was
familiar.
recognized, that's all I know.
There was a voice we recognized, and there was a dragon of some kind involved. I'm just speculating. I mean, what I'm saying is actually quite dangerous. I could be... If I said this outside of the dreaming, I could be in serious trouble, but it's speculation.
Do we know which house the Duke belongs to?
Yeah, he's Gwydion.
Hmm.
The Duke is House Gwydion, as far as I know.
Let me just check that in a hurry, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm not sure if I wrote it down for him, but he is House... Yeah, he's House... I didn't actually write it down for him here, I can see, but he is House Gwydion.
Oh. In any case, let's find that trot and get out of here.
Yes.
Charles is waiting outside the tent.
And just as you guys leave the tent, you can hear people approaching, or someone or something at least approaching. And I think we're going to take our break there.
Okay.
Because that's a nice cliffhanger. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We shall be back with more Copenhagen Dreaming after this break.